guys, it's Shelby here, and Happy New Year! Oh my god, it's 2020. Can you believe that already? We're starting a whole new decade. And we got a whole new video for you as well, obviously, because you're watching it. So, I am talking about my top 5 favorite horror animes. If there's anything you want to know about me, I love horror anime. I like anime in general, and so does Steven. So, I feel like this is something we don't talk a whole lot about on our channel, and I think we should incorporate more anime onto our channel. So, that's exactly what we're doing. But before we get started, don't forget to hit subscribe, like this video, comment, hit the bell, you know what to do. Alright, let's dive in. So at number 5, we have a newer anime. It's called Promised Neverland, and whew, this anime. It gets so intense from the first episode. Like, the first couple of minutes, it's pretty light and airy, kind of sets up the story, whatever, and then shit gets real, and then it just keeps on getting more real and progresses more throughout, I think it's like 12 episodes. I could be wrong on that. But the entire anime, it just gets so intense with each episode, and it just sucks you in. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since a horror anime really did that for me. That's not to say that I'm not watching other horror animes. I still got some I need to finish, and that, you know, they'll probably suck me in too. But this one really caught my attention. I binge watched it in 2 days, and I highly recommend it. Season 2 is coming out supposedly October of, I was gonna say next year, but it's already 2020. So October of this year. And I cannot wait for season 2 because I need to know what happens. It ends on a cliffhanger, and boy, it gets so good. If you haven't seen it, this is definitely a must watch. At number 4, I have Corpse Party Tortured Souls. If you have seen some of our past reviews that pertain to horror movies of such, you know that I like a good gory story, and that is exactly what Corpse Party Tortured Souls does for me. It's full of gore, and I believe it's based off of a video game. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. Anyways, yeah. I like this anime a lot. I just bought it on DVD not too long ago, and I'm super happy to own it because it is one of my favorites. And at the time that I heard about it, I had a hardish time trying to find it, and I finally found a website that I could watch it on. Only 4 episodes. It's basically a movie broken up into 4 pieces. I think that's the best way to describe that. Full of gore. It's about these kids in like this elementary school that is cursed, and these older kids, they say like some kind of pact, and the pact ends up bringing them into this cursed upside down version of this elementary school, and a lot of stuff happens. They start turning on each other. It gets crazy, and it just captures your attention, and I think it's amazing how they can unfold a story in just 4 episodes. Definitely check that one out. At number 3, we have Another. I love this anime so much that I've actually cosplayed the main character, Mei Misaki. I don't have any pictures of me in this cosplay other than what you might see on my Instagram. I think I have like 1 picture. Social media is all linked below if you do want to check out that cosplay. It was a couple years ago, so you might have to dig a little bit. But that is how much I love this anime. I like the creepiness and the darkness of this anime. Like, it's just so dreary when you're watching it, and at the same time it's so intense, and like the story, it just kind of builds and builds, but it's a slow build. So this anime may not be for everybody, but it does have a lot of gore in it too. I believe it's the 3rd episode when you get the first death, and that death is so brutal and cringy, and I've watched this anime about 4 times, I believe, and I know when that scene's about to come, and I actually have to cover my eyes because it's just like, it really gets to me. And then the deaths just after that are so brutal in this anime, actually. And it kind of has the same feel and pacing. Like, it's not one of those where, like, it does get intense as the anime goes, but at the same time it's pretty steady with the way that, like, the overall vibe of it, where it's just so dark, creepy. It has like these really creepy dolls in the anime too, and I think that that's kind of cool. I actually think creepy dolls are a little interesting. It is a Halloween costume I've always wanted to do, so maybe one day you'll see me do a broken doll face makeup thing of sorts. Moving on. At number 2, I have Parasite the Maxim. I like this one because it's sci-fi horror, and it kind of changes up a little bit of all the other animes I've talked about so far. It's very fast paced. It's kind of weird. I admit I wasn't totally sold on the anime on like the first 1 or 2 episodes, and then after that I was pretty hooked, and I like that it was weird. I mean, it's sci-fi, so of course it's gonna have those weird elements to it, but it also is pretty bloody at the same time. There's just a lot that happens in this anime, and it's really captivating. And can we also talk about the amazing intro to this anime? It is by Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and it's one of my favorite bands. I know Steven really likes them too. We have reacted to their newest song that they just released, so you can check that out somewhere up here above my head. And, you know, give that a listen, because their new music is really good too. And I also learned some history of the band and some lineup changes and things like that that I wasn't aware of. But also, I think you hear that emotion in their new song. But winding it back to the anime a little bit, I think that every time I hear that theme song, it really like gets me pumped for the anime, and I think that's why I'm talking so much about it, because Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas did a great job with this theme song, and it just gets you in the mood for some good old sci-fi horror. Anyways, my number one is Mirai Nikki. If you know me in person, you know how much I love Mirai Nikki. It's also called Future Diary in English. I've heard people call it both ways, so if you're not familiar with Mirai Nikki, it is Future Diary, and vice versa. I have cosplayed Yuno Gasai for about 2 years now. I love just cosplaying her because it gets me out of my comfort zone first and foremost, because I'm not psychotic like she is. But I like that she's able to balance that really cute side and still be psychotic. Basically, you know, she's the definition of, I think you pronounce it yandere? Yeah, you can correct me on that. I'm so bad at pronouncing words. But she is the ultimate definition of that word, at least from what I could see from the internet, what I've seen from watching this anime, I think 7 times now. I've seen this anime a lot. Like, it's the #1 go-to for more tenured anime watchers. It's something that I've showed a lot of my friends, and I sit down and I watch it with them. I love this anime because of the plot twist. You cannot guess the plot twist if it's your first time watching this. It is better than like an M. Night plot twist, I feel like, it because it's so unpredictable, and when that plot twist starts unfolding, you're just mind blown, and I love that. And that is why this anime is my #1. Before I go, I do have 3 honorable mentions. Before I get to those honorable mentions though, I'm currently watching some horror animes, so don't be disappointed if it's not on my list. I'm still trying to get through those and finish with them, which is subject to change, this list, possibly. You may think my list is absolute crap, and that's okay. This is your chance to try and improve my list. Tell me what horror animes you like in the comments below, and who knows, maybe I'll bump one of these 5 off. So, let's dive into my honorable mentions. At number 3, I have Elfenlied. This was an anime that I really liked, but I didn't like enough to put in my top 5. There's one scene that gets everybody. It's in the beginning. It's so sad. I can't talk about it anymore because I'll probably start crying on camera. But all in all, I like the idea of this anime and like where they were going with it. It's also pretty gory, and it's just intense. So anyways, I like it, but not enough to put on my top 5, so that's why it's number 3 on my honorable mentions. At number 2, I don't know if this one's really considered horror per se, but it's definitely on the thriller side of things, so you can lump that in. I'm gonna consider it in this category because of how emotional and how intense this anime is as well. I know I say all of these are intense because they are. It's horror, it's supposed to be intense. Anyways, number 2 is Erased. This anime made me cry. It made me like just sit on the edge of my seat wondering what's going to happen next. It made me want to bite my nails. I felt so many emotions when I watched this anime, and it's one that I also recommend, but it is so overwhelmingly emotional because of just the storyline and how sad it is, but it's such a good story. So I have it at number 2 for my honorable mentions. And last but not least, This one was really hard to not put in my top 5. I went back and forth. I love all of these animes almost equally, so it was hard to make this list in general. But at number 1 for my honorable mentions, it's Paranoia Agent. It's an older anime. It's been around for a while. And this is one a friend of mine showed me a long time ago. And I really, really liked this anime. But I felt like I wasn't totally piecing everything together. So I watched it again. And that last episode, I noticed a detail that I was like, oh, this is what makes this anime so good. And it's a very small detail. And of course you have to pay attention throughout the whole story, obviously. But there's a small detail at the very last episode, and that's when like I literally got the chills when I like pieced it all together. I was like, I get it. Holy crap, this anime is so freaking good. And I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen this anime, but if you haven't, definitely check this one out too. Like I said, it was so close to making it into my top 5 because it is one of my favorite animes. All of these are my favorite animes. I like a lot of anime though. Like, I'm not hard to please when it comes to anime. So, anyways, that is my top 5 favorite horror animes, as well as my honorable mentions. And coming up, you have Steven with his top 5 favorite horror games of the decade. Please stick around for that because it's a really good list as well. Until next time, see ya.
So, this is my top 5 horror games of the decade. I don't have a particular order on this specifically because all these games have scared me in a very, very, very good way, I guess is the best way to put it, since they have came out and since I have played them. And I think that most of you will agree that have played these games, but let's go ahead and get right into it. The first game I need to mention is PT. If you have not played PT, I'm sorry because you can no longer play it. But if you had the opportunity to play PT, that was supposed to give us a little taste of what Hideo Kojima was going to do with Silent Hill. And of course, Norman Reedus was the main character of that. And since the whole fallout with Konami happened, they made Death Stranding. So of course that game is out now. You should go play it. It's actually pretty good. But PT fucked me up, man. Fucked me up so bad. Like I can't, it's all in just one spot in the house. It's in the house until the end where you end up on the street and you walk away. But it's all in the house, and every time you're going around, things change, and it mentally just messes with you. And I wish that we had got it. There have been reports that they might actually go ahead and work on it again. And so we'll see what happens with that. I hope so, because we need that game. Next game I need to mention is the remake of Resident Evil 2. I like the fact that we were getting remade games from games that I played when I was a lot younger on the original PlayStation. Why? Because they changed the mechanics of the game to the best way possible. If you've played the old school Resident Evil games on PlayStation, you understand what I mean, because the camera angles, and it was weird trying to move back and forward, and it messed me up a lot. But the game still effectively scared me at the time, but it got me even more now, especially with what they did with Mr. X, because that fucker, when he shows up, not a fan. Not a fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan of the situation, because the first time that happened, that shit scared me. Straight up. Also, if you do play this game on PC, there is a mod for Mr. X that when he shows up, the X gonna give it to you, song from DMX. Yeah, you can put that mod in there, so when he shows up, you start hearing it as he's walking up, and it's great. It does take away the scare from it, but it will make you laugh. Either way though, the game was awesome. It really got to me. The next game I have to mention is a game that I stream on a daily basis. And that game is Dead by Daylight. This game, I started playing I think about 3 years ago when it came out, and a friend of mine, Anastasia, she's the one that introduced me to the game because she was streaming it, and I was watching it and I'm like, I want to play this game. Didn't realize how much this game was going to fuck me up. Main reason why, there's one killer, specifically one killer in this game that really, really messes with me, and that is the Hag. Why? Because one of her things is a jump scare. Like, she puts down this trap in front of wherever she wants to, and you have no idea where it's at, and when you're trying to work on a generator, she pops up. I don't like it. Love it. I don't like it. If you want to hear me scream, that's how you hear me scream. A lot of other characters, like, I guess killers, they also get to me depending on how good the killers are and not knowing where to go to, like one that I've never survived. It's great, and the areas, the stages that you are put on are fantastic as well. Like they have, it's wonderfully crafted, and it has killers on there from movies that you know, like from Halloween, from Nightmare on Elm Street. I really want them to put something in from Hellraiser. I would love to have Pinhead on there. Be fantastical. Please, please, please bring him in. There's a lot of things that I really enjoy. Leatherface is on there as well. If you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, he is on there as well. And they really give these killers really great abilities that really suck. But one thing I do, not suck, it's good, but it sucks for when you're playing a survivor. Great when you're playing a killer. What I do love though is that they actually give survivors a chance. That's one thing that I did not like about Friday the 13th game. The survivors are actually a little quicker. They have perks that help them out as well. Does it really help out too much when the killer is really good? Not really, but they can. But they actually give you a chance, and that's what I really liked about that game too. So, the next two games I'm going to mention are the games that actually scared me the most. Now, again, I can't rank all of these. I can only tell you basically how much I really enjoyed them and whatnot, but these two specifically I can tell you scared me the most. Specifically because one, I can barely make it into 27 minutes into a stream playing one of them, and the other one I've tried playing on PlayStation 4 and on PC, and it still messes me up. So the first one that I can't make it 27 minutes into a stream is Visage. Fuck that game. Love that game, but fuck that game. Listen, there are like 2 different chapters that you can start off with, Dolores and Lucy. I played Dolores multiple times, and it changes all the time. I played Lucy's for the first time 2 days ago, 3 days ago, depending on when you watch this. I played it recently, okay? Lucy is no joke, and I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, it stresses me out, and I'm trying, but it stresses me the hell out. I love it, but it stresses me the hell out. And that's why I want to keep trying, because it's one of the games I need to beat, because they just released another chapter of it, and I can't do it until I beat Dolores and Lucy. So yeah, it's hard. And the other game is Outlast. So listen, when a friend of mine recommended Outlast to me, and I'm like, all right, cool, another survivor game. And Outlast came out like quite a few years ago, and I had just played Slender for the first time, and so Outlast was another one that was recommended to me right after that. And so I was like, all right, cool, another survival horror game. With Slender, you don't really have anything to really help you. You have your video camera and so on and so forth. In this game, however, you have a camera also. And you have to try to basically escape an asylum. And that's really hard. It's really hard, especially when the jump scares really get to you and you're an idiot to play this game at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's me. That's what happens. But Outlast and Visage, yeah, those two, they fucking me up the most. Can't really help it. But I love them both, and I'm going to keep trying. And if you'd like to see me try, my Twitch is right below. I'll be playing on Twitch. You can see me on there. Shelby also has a Twitch as well, so her Twitch will be below too, because she streams as well, and it is awesome. So look at our Twitches, follow us on Twitch, enjoy our pain, and yeah, like this is awesome, and I can't wait to start this new year off right. Like we've started in a great way, and that way is by partnering with HorrorWeb. HorrorWeb had reached out to Shelby and I, and we joined their family, and it's awesome because now that our channel is a full horror channel, it kind of goes hand in hand. I think so. It feels great, and I'm really happy about it. And HorrorWeb's info below will be below also, so you can check them out. Check out the YouTube, check out the actual website. All of that stuff will be below. You'll be getting a lot more horror stuff from Shelby and I, from movies that we're gonna try to just catalog. And if there are things that you want us to check out, things you want us to play, let us know in the comments below. Because we like to listen, we like to talk, we like to interact with everyone that is a part of our channel. And of course, now we're part of the HorrorWeb family, it's just gonna be great. So, thank you guys for staying and listening to me rant about horror games. And thank you guys for staying and checking out Shelby as well with her top 5 anime. Also, her honorable mentions also. Again, like she said, let her know about some anime that you think, horror anime that you think she should check out. Put those in the comments. And of course for me, games, put those in the comments as well. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.